I've been talking about David Dreier for a long, long time. He is, almost unilaterally responsible for the kind of running roughshod over Democrats when they were in control of the Congress, and it's something that, I mean, Dreier has just really been there way too long. It's fascinating when you look at some of the things that you talk about in terms of Dreier's positions. They're so similar to McCain's positions in many ways. Bush, he's also voted with Bush 95% of the time. He also voted against extending health care benefits to children. He's also against, so many of the things that we've that are going to be key issues in the campaign.
Oh, absolutely. Just a few weeks ago, he voted against the new GI Bill. Mm-hmm. And his reasoning on that was he did not want to tax anyone earning over $500,000 a year.
Oh, over $500,000 a year?
Yes. That's an awful. That's a lot of money. I don't know too many people who make $500,000 a year. When you stop and you think the average person in this country makes about $48,000 to $55,000 a year.
No, I was having a conversation with a gentleman before you came on the air, a fellow named Jason, and he was talking about the fact that he's a conservative and he's probably going to support McCain, but he was concerned about the tax, the fact that Obama wants to reinstate tax cuts on families over $200,000 a year. Now, maybe that is cutting it a little bit close, because I know in California, the cost of living is so high. But on the other hand, $500,000 a year? Come on, there's got to be some place, some threshold where you have to say, we've got to let people pay their fair share so that the middle class can get a break for a change.
No, that's absolutely right. Right now, the middle class is suffering immensely under this administration and David Dreier. People like David Dreier and the Bush administration, they've actually, what I consider, have launched what I'm going to consider a hostile business plan against the middle class of this country.
Right.
And that is to destroy it from within, bring us to our knees, and then redo the middle class. And you know what? That means when they do it, recreate the middle class. Some of us aren't going to be there. And that's why we need people like me in Washington, D.C.
Sure.
I've worked hard my whole life, like every American out there. We all strive to get ahead.
Right.
We all strive to make sure that our children are going to succeed. And I believe that this administration has taken our children's future away from them. And we have to fight to get it back.
Let me ask you a little bit about Iraq, because of your personal knowledge through your son. John McCain will try to sell the fact that the surge worked. He's made a gaffe in saying that we've drawn down to pre-surge levels. We haven't. But nevertheless, he's going to try to make that case, that the surge has worked, that largely because of him, actually, is what he's saying, the surge has worked, and that things are turning around in Iraq. Is that what you're hearing?
No, I'm actually hearing that our soldiers just aren't put in harm's way the way they were before. But also you have to understand that they have to keep the death count down, and they've worked hard on that. That's why they had the surge. They knew an election year was coming up. And I believe that we have a real problem there in Iraq, because our brave soldiers, the ones suffering the wounds and losing their lives in this war, they're making $2,100, $2,200, $2,300 a month to be in a war zone.
Yeah.
They want this war to end. That's why they're fighting. And yet we have Blackwater there, who makes between $150,000 and $200,000 a year. And I don't care what anyone calls it. It's a private army.
Right.
And I think it's frightening that we have a private army who's profiting off of us over there. And it just doesn't make sense. They don't want that war to end.
I think you're right about that. I mean, it's a sad thing to say and to even think, but I think you're right that they don't want the war to end, that they want to, it is a profit center right now.